She started out as an environmental activist concerned about Utah's air quality. But rather than just talk about the issue, Erin Mendenhall got busy, ran for public office, and landed a seat on the Salt Lake City Council. And now, after 6 years there, she is Salt Lake City's new mayor, just as concerned about the environment, but more empowered than ever to actually do something about it. I sat down with her and asked her 3 questions. Is it possible to have an inland port that is carbon neutral or at least does not harm the environment?
I don't believe that we can say it isn't possible. They haven't built a port like that anywhere in the world. We are in serious non-attainment with the Clean Air Act. There is no more stringent designation from the EPA than the one that we have right here and where the inland port is looking to go. That is a very real federal framework that the crafters of the inland port will have to fit within. And I think it's a good thing for us because that means that they can work to build a port that has never been built before using the most cutting-edge technology, from transportation infrastructure investment to the type of buildings to mitigation and mediation for water, light, noise, and air quality issues, even transportation impacts that can happen. So I think it might be possible. We haven't explored it enough yet, and we don't have the business plan yet from the Inland Port Authority to be able to say, if that's what you're planning to do, here's what the results will be. Those things I hear are forthcoming from the Inland Port Authority, and we really look forward to getting some definitions on what it is they're looking to do and what those impacts will be.
How would you gauge the effectiveness of the steps that have been taken up to this point to deal with Salt Lake's homeless population? And will we ever see a day when those tents disappear from Library Square and elsewhere?
What we're seeing with these 96% average capacity on the 3 homeless resource centers, 2 of them in Salt Lake, 1 in South Salt Lake, and of course there's the Midvale Family Shelter, but they are operating right near capacity. We needed to make more space because it's a successful system. It's not that people aren't showing up and we have these brand new resource centers that are serving people's needs more acutely. People are showing up. They're showing up night after night. And there are hundreds of people being served every single day and night who have a warm place to go into, and it's drawing more people into seeking services. This is a good problem, actually, and it's one that we shouldn't stop at just because we've opened the 3 resource centers.
What about the tents?
A lot of folks on the street that I've encountered, I'll go out and we'll go out with social workers or our police officers and try to talk to people and ask if they've sought shelter. Have you been to the homeless resource centers? I've got a van. If we bring that van up, would you pack up your things with us and go try the resource center? And in my experience, 9 out of 10 of those people, especially on Library Square, are not interested in seeking shelter. So
why not? What do they tell you?
There's a sentiment about this is my community. There's a shared experience here that I want to be around people who understand what I've been through, what I'm going through. This is all I have, this stuff under my tarp, my tent here, and my bike and my cart, and I don't want to leave my things. And also a sentiment that, you know, I've tried in the past. I've tried to get off the drugs. I've tried to get into shelter. It doesn't work. Why would this new system work for me? And a sense of giving up.
As you were campaigning to become the mayor of Salt Lake City, you set out an agenda. You had talking points and things you wanted to accomplish and great goals and vision for what you wanted your administration to be. Now that you are sitting in the chair, as you look back at that list, is there anything missing, obviously missing to you, that now that you're in the chair, you're going, you know what? We got to do this too.
Oh my gosh. There's probably several dozen of those things. I think part of that is in politics, once you win an election, a whole lot more people want to talk to you than they did
become
before.
really popular.
That's true.
All of a sudden.
And so the ideas and people's visions, people's willingness to invest their time, their own reputations, their business, whatever it might be, they come out of the woodwork. And so surely I make the joke that we have 1,000 good ideas a day come into our office. And I'll tell you that my philosophy as a person, and certainly as a mayor, is around having vulnerability in life and being vulnerable to the influence, the information, the experience, the education of listening to people on a day-to-day basis, and let me be different tomorrow than I am today based on all of the interactions that take place and the things we learn over time. Let us be vulnerable as an asset. And I think that's how we evolve as a government, how we evolve as people, to be serving better, to be truly listening and reflecting the opportunities and the needs and the values of our people over time. So I welcome 1,000 good ideas a day, and then we take that in and we see how can that complement this other thing that we hadn't even thought of doing that together. It's so exciting. I've made the joke that when you're a candidate, you have, if we could liken it to being a cook, you've got about 6 ingredients when you're a candidate, and it's those things, those few things that your talking points. And once you're elected, you walk into this fantastic kitchen and the cupboard doors open, and oh my gosh, we can really cook.
All kinds of ingredients.
Now we can cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Erin Mendenhall, Mayor of Salt Lake City, thank you so much for being part of Three
Thank you, Bob.
Questions.
It's such a pleasure.